That was fun. This is Aria Evora. I'm speaking with Matthew Jamieson. He was having to hold his tongue because I was asking Danielle a bunch of questions, and he, as Danielle said, in their collaborative work, she's more the emotional.
You could call it spiritual, perhaps.
Spiritual, and Matthew is more of the science-oriented artist of this multidisciplinary world that we play in as digital art, new media students and artists. Matthew is an artist, cartographer. He does maps, right? Engaged in promoting ecological awareness and community action. Matthew has a background in planning and geospatial technology. It's a great pleasure to be talking to you, as much as Jean and Danielle. But Matthew, I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time.
I've been wanting to talk to you for a very long time.
And I'm so glad you're here because you are you're really working on something dear to my heart, the watershed here in San Lorenzo Valley and Santa Cruz County. And the watershed is a big point of conversation with the desalinization plant plans, such as Danielle mentioned earlier, and the drought conditions that we're having this year. There's so much. I'm getting the goosebumps just talking about it because somebody needs to give us the voice of the watershed, and I'm saying that's you, Matthew.
Well, thank you. You know, the desalination plant or proposal for it was really the leverage point or the fulcrum for why Danny and I started on this. There was, we were both considering our work and what we wanted to do in our master's thesis, and there was an election coming up last year, and this was a hot focal point in the community, and we sort of got together around this, and we've been working ever since on water issues in the community and getting more and more connected to watershed issues in the community through that. Yeah.
What have you learned?
Oh my God! I mean,
there's so much.
Where can I start? Right? That's such a broad, general question. Through this whole process, like Denny mentioned, we've been interviewing a lot of community members. Rick Longinati, if I can use his name, I already did. With Desal Alternatives, he's just a great community activist. We're really fortunate in this area in that we have a lot of very knowledgeable people that are just really dedicated to our local environment and sort of they have a vision for Santa Cruz, which I think is something that's perhaps kind of unique, I guess, in this country. Not all places have so many people that are so concerned about people and place and environment.
Well, I think that's a big reason why people are attracted to coming here. So Matthew, one of the things that I question is how does an artist use science in their work? Where do you not be a scientist and be an artist instead? Where do those things blend? I guess that place, that porous place where you go back and forth. And Gene is nodding because he does that all the time with his education and trying to balance out the artistry, the technologist, that I know I have and you do too. And so I've asked this question of the Harrisons, who drive my work quite a bit, and I believe they've had some influence on your work as well. Sure. As an artist, you're able to ask questions that a scientist may not be able to ask. What do you say?
Well, I think you're right. I use the Harrisons as sort of my way into this, into the arts. You might be able to say that what I'm doing is more data visualization, but I sort of see that as sort of a dirty word within the arts. And what I'm trying to do is sort of be an artist cartographer in a way that it's sort of mixing cartography, mixing science, mixing the arts into something that, as an experience, still has some emotional resonance to it, right? And right. I guess that's a real challenge for me because I think I like to dissect, much like a lot of scientists do. I'm a collector of spatial information. As a map maker, that's what I do. Some people collect stamps. I collect geographic data. and I analyze it. And then I try to find interesting ways to show that data and show my thinking. And unlike a scientist, I don't feel like I'm confined to a certain methodology. You know, I'm driven by an idea, and I use representation of images. In the case of my current work, it's going to be images and sound and video, and all kinds of interactive elements to sort of push. Well, I have to be frank, I have a certain agenda. And that's, I think, as an artist, that's the liberties that you have that the scientists don't have quite as much.
Nice. Matthew Jamieson telling us all about it. Aquapuncture is what you're working on, right? Aquapuncture.
That's right.
Not acupuncture, right. Aquapuncture.
Yeah, you know, it's a term that I perhaps stole from, there's a mayor of Curitiba, Brazil. His name is Jamie Lerner. You know, like you mentioned earlier, I have a background in urban planning. It wasn't a field that I necessarily wanted to follow suit in after having pretty poor experience there. But I'm still inspired by a lot of the really great planners out there. And he used this term urban acupuncture, which I really liked. And I just applied that to sort of watershed thinking. So sort of...
Okay, no.
Okay, am I going too fast?
Urban acupuncture.
That's right.
Can you distill that for us for just a second?
You know, what he's done in that community, and this is something that I think is happening in a lot of communities now, is sort of thinking about a lot of small-scale solutions to problems. So it's, you know, I think the era of the dinosaur mega projects, you know, the big dams, that's not a direction that I think a lot of people see our future in terms of a sustainable future, right? And this is, in terms of addressing our watershed issues, this is what I'm trying to get across, is that it's going to take a community effort, and it's going to take a lot of small-scale solutions, and it's going to take a lot of sort of community groups and watershed groups working together into some slightly larger projects as well, but perhaps not the larger, you know, mega projects that we saw 20, 30 years ago, and even perhaps 100 years ago too.
So Aquapuncture is an interactive touch screen installation. It's kind of like a React table, I'm guessing. Is that?
Yeah, it's a 42-inch touchscreen that'll be installed.
And you'll be able to touch it, touchy-feely it, at the Undercurrents exhibition, May 1st through the 4th, with the preview weekend, April 26th and 27th. Thursday is the big public reception, May 1st, 6 to 9, and the gallery is open 12 to 5. And so, Matthew, this is going to allow people to play with your visualizations. Is that right?
Right. It's, you know, it's a lot of things. Over the course of the past year, I've been sort of going on these adventures throughout the watershed and, you know, taking photos, doing interviews. I'm actually part of this sort of California Naturalist program now as well. It's being taught at the Arboretum. So it's... I've been sort of involved in all these experiences, so the touchscreen interface is a way to sort of explore all these various places in the watershed and get to know our water systems more in depth, and that involves getting to know a little bit of the infrastructure and get, you know, involved in understanding some of the problems, some of the potential solutions with our water, understanding where drinking water comes from, understanding the groundwater. So there's a lot of things embedded in that. You know, I'm one of these people that I think I'm a little bit all over the place. I do dig pretty deep, and I think I'm a slightly detail-oriented kind of person, and I am, you know, it's ambitious, but I'm trying to show as much information about our watershed as I can.
On this aquapuncture. And so how is this going to live on without it being on a touch screen? Will be able to see it online? Will it be on the web? Will you be showing it around town? I think a lot of people need this, because like I said before, the watershed needs its voice, and you have a lot of it for us.
Well, I hope I'm just one of the many voices speaking for the watershed. But you're right. Actually, all those things that you mentioned will be happening. So the touchscreen is actually just it's just loading a web page. So this thing will be living online, and you know, you can probably go to my webpage after the show. It's Jamieson-cartography.com, and that's spelled Jamieson-cartography.com. You can find it there. Danielle and I are also putting together a group called Collective Water Collective, and we hope to have more information about what we're working on with that group as well.
Where can I get a hold of the Collective Water Collective? I want to be involved. Is there a website?
We have an indoctrination process.
You have to baptize yourself in there.
Yes, absolutely. You have to go down to the river.
I like it.
Join us.
So tell us, Matthew, in just the few minutes that we have left with acupuncture,
Aquapuncture.
how are you, what are you hoping people walk away with?
Well, I would like to have people understand that there's a lot that we can do as individuals to make a difference in terms of, I'll call it water security. And, a lot of people talk about low-impact development, or they talk about do-it-yourself solutions you can do at home. These are all things that we can sort of implement within our community that can lead to a lot of systemic changes in how our water is managed. And say one of those things you could do is, have a rain barrel and harvest water at home. The application actually tells you how much water you can sequester off of your roof, for instance. So that's, and I'll have diagrams and images, and I've actually been building rain barrels myself over the past couple months, so I'll have images of that. So there's a lot of information there, so I hope people can learn about some of these things and then go home and then integrate sort of different landscaping techniques on their property, like I said, rain barrels, and then get involved with desal alternatives, other local organizations in the community that are involved in this sort of fight for the watershed. And there's all kinds of things we can do.
So Matthew, what does the watershed tell you?
Well, the watershed is intimately connected to our community, and that's something that I think we need to realize. I think for too long we've been disconnected, from not just the ecologies, but also sort of where we came from and our connection to nature, and a big part of that is water, right? And the watershed itself is what sustains and supports us as a community. So I hear that all the time now because I'm living it in this project. So yeah, that's.
I'm thinking it's also saying it's in need of help. For sure, yeah. There's so many issues that need addressing, and you're absolutely right. What's one of the things that you want to address? What do you think, if you could have that one sign that you gave to the community, like, this is my agenda, folks, listen to me, what is that?
As the Harrisons would say, it's natural systems thinking. And really, I guess what that means is just understanding the sort of relationship between things that are happening in, say, ecology and life systems, and how that supports us.
All right. Boy, that was great. Matthew Jamieson, Danielle Williamson, Jean A. Felice II. Thank you so much for coming on. I so appreciate your time and feel your busyness.
Thank you.
And I'm inviting all of you to come May 1st for the big celebration, public reception, Thursday, May 1st, 6 to 9 of Undercurrents, 2014 MFA exhibition. It'll be in the Digital Arts Research Center here at UCSC. Preview weekend, April 26th and 27th, 12 to 5. Jean, tell us, where do we want to be? April 19th. April 19th.
April 19th, you want to come on down to Lighthouse Point, and you want to come see Bloom Santa Cruz. And if you want to see more info, go to lighthousebloom.com. All the artists, all of the logistics are up there.
I can hardly wait. April 19th, folks. Come out to the Pigeon Point.
April 19th, and it's at Lighthouse Point.
Lighthouse Point.
Steamer Lane.
Steamer Lane. So after Earth Day, it starts at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock to 11. The projection will all fire up about 8 o'clock, so come on down. But there'll be lots going on before that. All ages and free.
And free! I wanted to say that public.
It's free.
It's for you to come to. So listen, everybody, stay tuned for New Sling. Thanks for listening today. Thanks to Vanya Benavides and Vab Media for live tweeting and Facebooking during the show. Gosh, thank you for what y'all are doing. I love it. Can't wait to see it. Have a great day, everybody.